The war is nearly over, says Trump, but it might escalate over oil prices, a show of support for Iran's new leader as fragile economies begin to collapse. It's been 10 days of war, and the world is desperate for any sign of relief. The US may be ready to end the conflict, but is Iran?
We took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil. And I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion.
I don't think that question of talking with Americans or negotiation with Americans once again would be on the table.
I can tell you that we continue to raise the alarm over the humanitarian impact of escalating violence.
In a speech to Republicans in Florida, the US president said it was only a matter of days until what he described as a short excursion would be over. He says 80% of Iran's missile capabilities have been destroyed alongside its navy, but no mention of nuclear power or regime change. It could be a sign the US is now looking for a way out, but Iran is sending a very different message. State television aired this footage. Hundreds of thousands gathered to pledge their allegiance to Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei, an image that suggests regime change is off the table. Now everyone waits for the new supreme leader to speak, and many Iranians will be hearing him for the very first time. Will he call for revenge or reciprocate Trump's desire to end the war? So far, the messaging from Iran has been one of defiance, that it will escalate its missile strikes on US targets, on Israel, and on its Gulf allies until it receives guarantees that it won't be attacked again. It continued to breach air defenses in West Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, killing 2 more people as rockets from Hezbollah reached deeper into Israel. It attacked energy sites across the Gulf, setting Bahrain's main oil refinery on fire and killing a 29-year-old woman in Manama. But how long can it actually hold out against US and Israeli attacks? On the ground, one of the worst nights of bombing in Tehran, with more than 40 people killed in an attack on a residential suburb. The Iranian Red Crescent hasn't been able to update its death toll for 3 days, when it reported that 1,300 had been killed. The true toll is likely much higher. But the real unknown in this scenario isn't Trump or Khamenei, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Since the beginning of the war, it's been clear the US and Israel have very different goals and tactics. For example, that devastating attack on Tehran's main oil refinery and 30 other fuel depots that likely happened without US approval. And the US isn't happy about it, feeling that it will only further spook global oil markets. Israel has also used the cover of US defenses to expand its invasion into southern Lebanon and its attacks on Beirut, leaving nearly 500 dead and 700,000 displaced. So while it's convenient for Netanyahu to have the US military at his back, it is becoming extremely costly for Trump, which is why we're hearing him talk more about the gains that he's made in the war and downplaying the economic toll.
I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful.
The price of oil surged to $120 a barrel over the weekend, its highest price in 4 years. Then, this morning, it dipped again following Trump's speech. But the world is already feeling it, particularly in Asia, which relies heavily on energy from the Gulf. Pakistan, which you might remember is currently fighting its own war in Afghanistan, its economy is in shock. The government announced a raft of austerity measures, temporarily closing schools and government offices and ordering large sectors of the workforce to work from home in an effort to save on fuel.
आइंदा 2 माह के लिए काबीना के अरकान, वज़रा, मशीरान और मावनीन ख़ुसूसी तनख्वाह नहीं लेंगे.
And as the world focuses on the Iran war further from the spotlight, the ongoing genocide in Gaza persists. Israeli attacks have continued, killing at least 6 Palestinians, including 3 children at Nusayrat refugee camp. That included Amal al-Shamali, 46-year-old radio journalist. Israel has used the war to tighten its siege, keeping the Rafah crossing shut. The price of food and fuel is soaring, and humanitarian agencies are scaling back operations. And it will come as little surprise that talks to advance Trump's plan for the ceasefire in Gaza are reportedly on hold. That's as his Board of Peace deals with the fallout of an escalating war, one that many of its own members are now feeling on their doorsteps. That's it from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera as we continue to update you on all the developments in the war on Iran.